The equality wheel is a tool we use to assess the healthiness of a dating relationship. It is the opposite of the power and control wheel. At the center of the wheel is equality, which means that all people in the relationship feel equal and there is fairness and balance between them. To have equality, one must recognize and practice the different aspects of a relationship, many of which are outlined upon the equality wheel. We'll start at the top with assertive communication. This means that we're able to communicate effectively and assertively. We're able to speak our minds freely and share our opinions and thoughts without worry of being put down, questioned, or criticized for what we think. Assertive communication is different than passive communication, where we feel shame to say what we think, or aggressive communication, which often sounds like yelling, swearing, or using a harsh tone of voice. Assertive communication uses I statements to share our feelings, and we are able to be open and honest about what we think. Next on the list is honesty and accountability. We want to be in relationships with people that are truthful and honest about what they think or feel. Being honest means we can open up when there are problems and be willing to share our true feelings without worry of how it's going to be received. Of course, we need to be mindful of how others might hear what we share, and if our honesty ends up hurting someone else, such as saying things like, "Wow, your breath really stinks," or "I think those clothes look awful on you," then this form of honesty is bordering upon insults and criticism, which is different than being honest. Accountability means we own our actions. Each and every one of us will make mistakes in life. That is a normal part of being human, and it's okay to make mistakes. What's not okay is to blame or shame someone else for something that we may have done. Being accountable means acknowledging the effects of our actions upon others, and then taking responsibility for what we may have said or done. Accountability can also include apologizing for that behavior, as well as making strides to ensure we don't do that action in the future. A positive part of accountability is the need for growth and change, which is related to support and personal growth. We want to be in relationships with people that are supportive and recognize the ability to change and grow over time. It feels great when a dating partner shares praise and awareness of the things we care about, whether that's sports, hobbies, future goals, or the things we like in life. Support can also mean recognizing how we spend our time and ensuring that they're not controlling or isolating us from others. Maybe it's really important for us to have time every week for surfing or going to the beach. A supportive partner ensures that we have time for those activities without guilt tripping us for spending time away from them. Who knows? Maybe there are activities both people love to do, and that's another way to have fun and share time together. Being cut off from friends, family, hobbies, or other activities can easily become isolation, which is not healthy. Personal growth means we're allowed to change as time goes on. None of us will be the exact same person we are today 10 years down the road, and our dating partner should recognize the importance of growth. If we're expected to stay exactly the same with no opportunity for growth or change, it can become pretty stagnating. This is one of the ways in which resentment begins to grow. And if a dating partner controls who we are, what we do, where we go, or the activities in which we can partake, that's a sign of a controlling and potentially abusive partner. Inclusion is defined as the action or state of including or of being included within a group or structure. Within a dating relationship, this can look like a partner wanting us to be a part of their life. Maybe it means introducing us to their friends or family, or inviting us to join them in activities. Being included can help people grow closer, get to know their partner, and understand the various aspects of what makes them special. When we're included, we have the ability to grow our trust for them without worrying what's happening behind our backs. Of course, as important as it is to be included, it's also crucial to have space and time away from our dating partner and the relationship. In a healthy relationship, we are able to foster a sense of independence, which allows us the opportunity to express who we really are. It's important we can continue to have friendships and relationships with family, classmates, teammates, or even coworkers without our dating partner getting mad or jealous. A sign of a mature and healthy relationship is the trust that comes from being okay with our dating partner having these other relationships. And while it may be difficult to always trust another person, especially if we've been hurt before or had our trust broken in the past, it's really important for everyone in a relationship to feel independent. One way to show our respect for a dating partner is to give them space when we're not together. This means we're not tracking their location, blowing up their phone with calls and texts, or even demanding an immediate response when we send a text message. Being clingy or possessive is a sign of a controlling dating partner and displays a lack of respect for our independence. To negotiate is a big part of keeping a dating relationship fair and balanced. It ensures that both parties are able to share and get their needs met. When disagreements occur, as they undoubtedly will, each person is able to share their perspective and get feedback from their dating partner. Not one person in a relationship deserves to always get their way, and in a situation like that, the tendency is for one person to take away the power, control, and decision making from the other. That is not negotiation. Negotiation is working through whatever problems may arise, whether that's how each person in the relationship spends their time, or what plans are being made for dates, the future, or anything else that may cause a disagreement. When each person's view is respected, they will feel safe and secure owning their thoughts and be able to share openly with their dating partner. Keeping a relationship balanced might not always be easy, especially if one person is used to getting their way. But sometimes we need to let go of this control and be okay with alternate viewpoints. Boundaries and respect are probably one of the most important aspects of having a healthy relationship. To respect another person means we are honest and trustworthy, and we treat each other in the way we deserve to be treated. Respect is a two-way street, so when we give respect to someone else, we deserve to be respected in response. This means our partner speaks to us in a kind and comfortable way and never insults or criticizes what we think or say, even if they don't always agree with us. Respect is also in how we treat each other physically, and if a dating partner disrespects our safety, it's a sign of an unhealthy or abusive relationship. Boundaries can be thought of as the invisible lines we draw around ourselves, which establishes what we want or don't want in the relationship. Physical boundaries are the ways in which we keep ourselves safe, including the desire not to be touched or physically harmed by anyone else. Boundaries can also be the limits we set for how we spend our time, whether that's determining how much space and independence we desire, or the times in which we are in contact with a dating partner. It's important our boundaries can be respected so we can feel safe and supported in a dating relationship. Some of us may have mental or emotional boundaries, such as off-limit topics that we'd rather not discuss with anyone else, even a dating partner. Prying or forcing someone to disclose uncomfortable information can create trauma. If we prove ourselves trustworthy and safe, perhaps in time a dating partner will feel okay opening up and sharing with us. But we should never force someone to share something they'd rather keep private. And if we should disclose something shared in secrecy with others outside the relationship, that is a way in which trust is broken and is a sign of disrespect. Being equal in a dating relationship means shared power and control, where both people are afforded the same opportunities and able to be balanced with each other. This means not one person making all the decisions all the time, but allowing each person in the relationship to have a voice and to make choices together. There will be moments where disagreements occur, but in an equal relationship, both partners will negotiate and allow the chance for decisions to be made equally. In some relationships, there may be societal privileges afforded to one partner and not the other, whether that is due to racial, class, sexual orientation, religious, ableist, or gender inequalities. In this case, it's not enough just to practice equality. One must also recognize how to foster equity, which is the ability to recognize that each person has different circumstances and then allocate opportunities needed to reach an equal outcome. For example, one person may make significantly more money than the other. In deciding things like rent, utilities, groceries, or other expenses, there may need to be a conversation about how to split the cost more evenly. In the end, this will help prevent major disagreements from occurring while keeping the relationship more even and balanced. Acceptance is agreement with or belief in an idea, opinion, or explanation. In a dating relationship, this means we are accepted for who we are, what we believe, and how we express ourselves. Being accepted by a dating partner is a wonderful feeling, as it allows us to truly be ourselves without fear of being forced to change or feeling unwanted. A dating partner should never make demands for us to change how we dress, look, or behave, as long as our behavior isn't dangerous or detrimental to the relationship. With that in mind, a dating partner may disagree with aspects of our behavior. And in a healthy relationship, there is the ability to share their thoughts, but that doesn't mean they get to control our ability to express ourselves. If a dating partner criticizes the way we dress, possibly due to their own insecurities, that is a feeling they can share, but that doesn't mean they get to dictate how we look. In the end, it's up to us to decide who we are and how we express our individuality. Not every relationship needs to have intimacy, but if there is intimacy, there definitely needs to be consent. Consent is a part of communication because ultimately it means asking for permission and confirming that all people in the relationship are willing and wanting to participate in intimacy. Consent is an ongoing process, something that needs to be confirmed and considered each time a person wants to be intimate. We are allowed to change our minds about what is done or how we use our bodies, even halfway through an act of intimacy. And if someone says no or their body language indicates a lack of desire for something, a respectful person will not try to pressure, persuade, guilt trip, or blackmail their dating partner into being intimate. Remember, we have control over our bodies and no one else. Coercion is the act of trying to pressure someone into being intimate and might sound something like, "If you really loved me, you would," or "We did this before, why won't you do it this time?" These are types of guilt tripping and cannot be considered giving consent. Of course, we also cannot give consent when under the influence of drugs or alcohol, even if we previously said yes. The main thing about consent is that it's a conversation we have with a dating partner because we want to understand and respect any boundaries they may have. If we discussed and decided that being sexually active is something we want to do in our dating relationship, then we also need to consider ways to keep ourselves safe. Perhaps this means getting tested for STIs before having sex, or using contraceptives to protect ourselves and our dating partner. The results of unprotected sex can include life-threatening sexually transmitted infections, unwanted pregnancies, and other social issues, such as using sex as a bargaining chip, or in an abusive partner spreading rumors about being sexually active with us. If you and your dating partner are not ready to discuss the use of contraception, then you're not mature enough to be having sex. And if a dating partner attempts to coerce or pressure us not to use contraception, then that is a huge red flag. We need to keep ourselves safe when being sexually active. Lastly, some dating relationships will never include sexual or physical intimacy, and that's totally okay. Intimacy doesn't have to be physical to be a part of our relationship. There's also verbal, emotional, and mental intimacy, which may include things like speaking kindly, sharing ourselves and being vulnerable, creating memorable moments, or even things like sending loving and heartfelt texts to a dating partner to let them know we care about them and we're thinking of them. These types of intimacy are just as important as being physically or sexually intimate and can be the foundation for a healthy and long-lasting relationship. Finally, we want to be in relationships with people that keep us safe, and if a dating partner ever physically, emotionally, or mentally makes us feel endangered, that is a sign that they may become abusive. Being nonviolent is a way of life, something that can encompass all relationships. It means choosing to speak and act in respectful ways, even when we are angry. We must practice kindness and affection when relating to other people, and using our physical force to intimidate or cause fear through threats or violence is an unhealthy way to interact with others. Violence can include things like slamming doors, restricting movement, raising our voices, yelling and swearing when there's a disagreement, all the way up to physically using our strength to hurt others. We might not always think that what we're doing is causing trauma, and that's why it's especially important to foster a safe and respectful environment within all our relationships. We may be dating someone that has been hurt in the past and possibly even carries trauma or fear from these previous relationships. With this in mind, we need to prove ourselves as safe individuals while also understanding that there may be a level of distrust within our dating partner. Although this is not because of us, we must still be understanding and safe enough for them to let down their guard, which can take time. That's why it's so important to prove ourselves as safe and respectful through acts of kindness and affection. Of course, asking for consent before being affectionate is a must, and is another way to show our respect for our dating partner. During this video, you may have heard some red flags that a relationship is becoming unhealthy or abusive. If you recognize any of these signs as a part of your dating relationship, there is help available. Please call TAP 808 at 808 927 2434 or the Domestic Violence Action Center helpline at 808 531 3771. You can also find TAP 808 online at www.tap808.org or check us out on our socials under the handle Teen Alert Program. You can also DM us with any questions or need for support at our Instagram, TikTok, or Facebook pages.